Well, today I'm going to make an elder wand to go with my Harry Potter book that I made the other day. And if you haven't seen that video, then check it out. I'll link it at the end of this one. Only trouble is, according to lore of Harry Potter, the elder wand is 15 inches long, and I've only got dowel that is 12 inches long. So I need to stick these two pieces together like that to allow me to make it the right length. I'm going to do that first. All I'm going to need for this is some tape that I'm going to lay flat there. Some wood glue, just a tiny bit, white glue, wood glue. Dip my end in it, wipe that bit of glue up. Because if not, I'll have everything in it. Stick me two ends together with quite a bit of pressure. Lay it on there and roll them together with that tape while I've still got quite a bit of pressure on there. Pushing those together as hard as I can and rolling those together. That should make a really nice tight join on there once it has dried. I won't take that tape off because I'm going to cut this down and cover it anyway. So that tape will just give it that little bit more reinforcement. I'm going to leave that to cure or dry overnight before I do the next bit. But this is all nice and dry and lovely and solid now, which is great. And I need to make this 15 inches long. So I'm just going to measure that because that's what the law says. So we've now got that at 15 inches. And what I'm going to do is cover this going all the way down to the bottom with some masking tape. And the reason is I find that masking tape will give me a really good basis for what I want to do next to stick to. And I'm not going to swirl it around and do it as a spiral. I want it to be on there quite straight like that. So all I need to do is line up my edges as I'm doing here, push it down and then roll it through. Pulled a image of the elder wand off from the internet and also the actual markings that go round it, and as you can see this has got an end to it that's quite smooth. So what I'm going to do is make that out of cardboard to start with. I've just used a compass, but you could use a coin or anything that you wanted to draw around, and then I'm going to stick that onto there. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little bumps. That one's smaller than that one's larger than the rest. What I'm going to do is measure my bumps out here. Would have been easier if I could have printed this out to size, but my printer wouldn't let me. To make life easier for myself, what I've done is I've put these foil bumps on, and that's really what I'm going to be using to cover. And also with the foil, it will make it a lot lighter. This wand is thicker than this piece of dowel as well. So all I'm going to do for those is fold some foil up like that to the width of the gap that I'm trying to fill. So that one there like that. And then glue all the way around. This is the best glue gun I've ever used. My God, it does get the glue hot though. So be careful if you get one. So that's done now. I'm going to work out how much thicker I want this. Yeah, that should be enough. So I can cut that bit off there, unroll it a little bit, stick some glue on it, and then re-roll it up. Well, I've got the rough shape now, and I think that's come out quite well. I've used a bit of hot glue here to build these bits up because I know that that is going to be a little bit more difficult to do and get these little carved out bits here. And the next stage for me is actually to cover it all in some masking tape. And all I'm going to do is take some small bits of masking tape like this and go all the way over where the foil is. And I find that just helps the next stage to stick, and it also smooths off any lumps and bumps and saves me having to use so much of the next stage to smooth them off. This is a stage you could skip if you wanted to, but I like to do this stage. And then you get a finish like that. Got a little bit like that there, where you've got a bit of foil showing through. You can just pop a tiny bit on. And the tiny bits actually really help to reinforce this as well. And it won't take long, probably take me about 10 minutes to do this whole thing. Well, I've finished covering that in tape now, and it really has started to take on the shape of the elder wand. And what I'm going to do is cover it in my homemade paper clay. Now, I've got quite a lot made up. It keeps for about 3 to 5 months before going hard if you keep it nicely sealed, and I make it in advance because it's a lot easier for me to do that. Now, because this is the shape it is, I can't keep putting it down, because if I put it down, then what's going to happen is I'm just going to flatten some bits. So what I plan to do is probably do it up to about here, let that dry, and then finish off this bit because I can then stand it up like that in something. So all I need is my paper clay, some water to smooth it out with, and some tools to use to smooth it out with. Make sure these tools are really clean and got no bits on them, because that way you'll get a great finish. And this is a nice, great tool for lots of things, and that's the knife. I love that tool. Use it awful lot. And you don't need to do much. You don't need to put water on it to start with. All you need to do is, because there's the recipe that I use, is stick it to the tape, and as that dries, that will adhere really well to that. And I'm going to do a bit at a time so that I can sculpt it, polish it, and also make it look exactly, but close enough to the Elder Wand so that anybody was seeing it, and if they knew what the Elder Wand looked like, they would think, oh, that looks like the Elder Wand. I'm pushing this on quite firmly to start with, all the way over, getting it into a rough sort of shape. I don't want it on too thick because I want it to be able to dry really, really quickly. It's a very warm, sunny day today, so I've got no doubt at all that this is going to dry really well. If I want to push it down even more, I can with just using this knife and putting it in a bit of water, because the water will give it a really nice smooth effect where you want it. And the great thing about this is once it is dry, if you need to, you can sand it down, which I think is brilliant. So you can use a fine sandpaper and give it a sand in, but I'm hoping not to have to need that. We'll finish that bit off now, and that's as smooth as I'm going to get it at this stage. But what I can do is leave that to dry for a couple of hours and then try and smooth it over again. But actually, I think that's going to be okay. It might need a little bit of light sanding, but that'll be all. Now what I need to do is this next one. And this one is going to be much easier. All I need to do is get my paper clay, put it on there into the shape of the bead that I've got on there, pushing that on all the way around. So I've got an even coating of it all the way around. This one is tapered down to the bottom here, to this bit of stem, but has kind of a flat top to it. Yeah, so I'm happy with the overall shape of that one. And now I'm pop a little bit more on here so it tapers off. I keep putting the tool, whatever tool I'm using, into the water, because that way it runs nice and smooth over it. And now all I'm going to do is the same process of smoothing this off like I used for the last bit. A little bit of water, very light touch. So we've not used hardly any clay on this because we've put that foil in. It makes such a big difference. Okay, now it's time to put the indents in, and all I'm using is a ball stylus for this. And the indents are quite deep, like that, and quite close to each other. So that's given that sort of pattern, and when that dries, that will soften off a little bit, but it won't soften off too much, and those patterns will stay in there. Making sure I haven't got any massive gaps with it. Yeah, so I'm pleased with that, and all I need to do now is follow all the way down, including the shaft, doing exactly the same thing. Overall, I think that's starting to look good. So I've got down to there. That bit needs to be smooth because that's where the painting goes on the wand. And now I'm going to let this dry completely so I don't keep damaging it, and then it will make life a lot easier when I do this half. It'll probably be dry tomorrow because it's so hot here today. I probably, once I'd finished doing this half in this pot with some stones and marbles in it, it worked really, really well, and put it outside in the direct sun. And it's lovely and hard. As you can see here, it has softened off those little dents, which is exactly what I want. And it really is starting to look like the Elder Wand now, I think. And now it's just a case of finishing it off, getting the rest of it done, and then letting it dry. I will let it dry for 2 full days before I paint it, and that way I can ensure it's completely dry inside and out. This is all lovely and dry now and gone nice and hard. It's very light, which is great, and that's because of all the foil that's in there. And as you can see, this is a really dark colour, a dark brown, I've been told. Now what I'm going to try first is using a deep mahogany stain on this. I'm hoping that's going to be dark enough. If not, once it's dry, I can always go over it with a colour wash. Now this paper mache or air dry clay does normally hold on to a stain really, really well. It might need a couple of coats, but I'm okay with that. As you can see, it's staying in that paper mache really well. I'm using it more as a paint because I want to make sure that I get in everywhere with it, all the nooks, all the little crannies, and also by putting it on different thicknesses you will get that like darker bits in the middle as well where you need it. And by using a proper wood stain, it gives, I think, more of a wood effect than it would if you were to use acrylic paint or something like that. Although we may put an acrylic paint colour wash on it at the end. This would be great for cosplay and all that sort of thing. It's really easy to make and has cost virtually nothing. I shouldn't think this has cost more than about £1, $1.25 to make. And when these bits, all I'm going to do is put it in there a little bit deeper in it, all these bits. And it's going to take a bit of time for me to do this because of all these knobbly bits that I've done. But I'm going to put it in there deep because then when it dries, hopefully it'll be slightly darker on the inside than it will on the out. And then once I've finished giving it 2 coats of this, I'll show you how I'm going to put on the glyphs and the gold. Well, that's had its 3 coats now, and I think that has come out quite well. But what I want to do is just darken some of these areas off. So I've got my stain here, and this is water-based stain. And I'm going to add a little bit of black acrylic paint in there. And that should darken that off quite a lot. Yeah, I don't want it any darker than that, because you can see the difference there and there. That's quite dark. Now I'm going to add some water to that as well. I added quite a lot of water to that. Yeah, you can see the difference in how dark that is. And now I'm going to give that a good coating of this colour wash all the way over and then leave that to dry, and that will give me some contrasting colours in here that will make it look a little bit more authentic. Well, now I've got it to the colour that I want. It is a very glossy varnished finish, or very glossy finish on this. So what I've got here is some gloss varnish, and I'm going to go over this now and varnish it all over. I will probably give it 2 coats of varnish to ensure that I've got the best gloss finish on it that I can get. Well, that's all lovely and shiny now, and I think that really does look like that. All I need to do now is add this bit, and I'm going to be using some gilding glue here, and it goes on to this bit, which is the bit that I've left nice and smooth here. So that'll take about 5 minutes to dry, and you always know when it's dry because it just goes transparent and clear. And now I've got my piece of gold leaf cut. Should allow me to put that on there. And now I'm just going to use a very soft brush to get that off with. And now we've got the gold leaf on. The next thing is to add these glyphs. And to add those, I'm going to be using a permanent marker pen. I'm going to leave this to dry for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'm going to give the whole thing a varnish again, just to protect this gold leaf and also to give it a final coat of gloss. And then I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll see if we can do any magic. It's all finished now. I'm really pleased how it's come out, and especially in comparison to that one. It's 15 inches long, and it is, I think, quite a nice replica. So I looked up on ChatGPT of what would be a good spell, and this is what it came up with. Socialium inflammari. And that spell translates to, I hope this video goes viral. Thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It really does help me to keep making things like this. Check out the video that I've got coming up next. I think you'll love it. If you want to get hold of the recipe for my paper mache clay, then you can find that on my website. It's free of charge, and there's a couple of videos on it on this channel as well. Hope you've enjoyed this project. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I love it. I think it's come out really, really well. Take care. Enjoy your crafting. Bye.